An Elder God, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, not if you will. She just did.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
She commands
Like,
the
if we
elements
didn't already
in
see the
life.
breakdown from
She
Game Informer,
is
I'd be hyped
almost
to see
the
Cetrion.
opposite
But
of
like,
Shin
we've
Akuma,
already
where he
seen
was
her,
like
man.
Death, bones, demons, all that.
Show me
nasty
some-
stuff.
show me
She's like
some
flowers,
new stuff, I
butterflies,
guess.
Puppies,
Fire,
rainbows.
water.
Also, fire and water.
What's up,
and
Eshy?
wind.
You see that rainbow back there? She made that.
She made that.
She made that, right?
So she is one of the game's premier zoning characters. She is a
Premier
great
zoning
keep-out character,
characters.
but it is not traditional zoning where you're just like Katana's just throwing straight fans. She has more slower startup, more trap moves that are like mid, close, and far. But first, let's just briefly go over her normals. They are all very effects heavy. It's super cool. She uses the elements even in normals. I really love this water teleport. She has this one where literally a meteorite comes, and if it's a counter hit, she gets this crushing blow where it just absolutely bops them on the head.
Bop.
And then she gets a combo. You know,
Drop
if I
combo.
wasn't old and bad.
It's alright.
It's okay. Even her hop attack is just bopping you over that with a meteorite thing.
Where does she
Guys,
get all these
it's almost time.
Oh, you're an Elder Goss.
It's
Elder
almost
Goddess
time for a
conjuring.
Devora
Reality is at your
gameplay
fingertips.
breakdown.
So, her special moves.
Almost time, guys.
One of her core moves
Almost time.
for her
We're
zoning
almost there.
is this rock.
We're
She
so
bounces
close.
on the ground, and while the
so
startup is pretty slow, it's excellent on block. It has a long knockdown on hit. Like the opponent, space will be controlled when this move is hit
You're
or
getting hit with a
blocked.
boulder.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
yeah. That makes a lot of sense that you wouldn't want to move if a giant boulder was rolling at you.
absolutely.
But then to complement it, she has this air one, and it looks very similar. It's going to be extremely hard to tell what she's doing.
Sure.
So you want to jump because of the rolling boulder, and then you're going to jump into this. She also has this rock wall, and if she amplifies it, it's a great combo ender, and this can actually absorb
I was
projectiles.
just going to ask, can it absorb projectiles?
It can. And that is a crushing blow.
When it absorbs a
When it absorbs a projectile. for
But like,
the first
how
time,
often is
you
someone
actually
going to
get the
use a
crushing blow.
projectile
Again,
on you
once per
that
minute.
close?
It's also one of her key combo enders.
It's
Now,
kind
this
of
is very
weird.
interesting to
But,
me,
you
because
know,
some
maybe,
you
maybe,
sort of
maybe.
Shark around for
Maybe
you.
it happens sometimes,
This one,
I guess.
you might be trying to do that when you shouldn't be doing it because you know the first time you get a crushing blow.
Yes.
You might be throwing it up there and missing, throwing it up there. I mean, there's definitely some danger knowing you have to do it first try.
Absolutely. So then she has her Hellfire Beam. She can do this in the air or the ground.
All right,
And she
Firestorm.
amplifies it. This is not tracking. It's close, medium, or far, but it's real juicy damage. Very, very hard to avoid. Then she has this Tentacle Grab. This is actually one of the few tracking moves in the game. Like, we don't have a lot of these in this, but this will actually go wherever the opponent is. It's
Why-
pretty quick.
why?
It is not a low. It's actually a mid, so there are no overhead low mix-ups.
But like,
You just
why?
pass into it.
Why do you need
And
that
it has
to be
a ton of
tracking?
recovery on whip
I don't
and block.
understand. Like,
But
just
again, the opponent's kind
make
of
it,
jumping
make
around,
it. You have to
walking back,
choose.
trying to avoid all
Add
this
some, a
business.
little bit of
And
depth.
then at any moment you see movement,
A little
or
bit.
you go for
no?
the read, and you're going to get them, and then you're going to.
I don't understand why they need tracking moves anymore like
World
this.
acting, man. She doesn't mess around.
Her combos are not the greatest. She really doesn't have a lot of pop-ups to.
She doesn't really have
she's kind of a
combos.
keep away character. So often what I do is I actually do this move, let them restand, then I go for a throw, or I go for a overhead bop, or this move which just sends them back. So she's not a character that's going to hurt you super, super hard when you're wrong, but you're going to be wrong a lot as you're trying to get in.
Sure.
So I guess let's go over the load I made, which is some moves that are going to be interesting. A lot of people have not seen these moves. The first one I
All right,
gave
new
her.
moves.
This is I went with lore, so I went with an
New
earth-based loadout.
breakdowns.
I gave her a ground pound.
Wait, I've seen
It's
that.
two hitting, they're low. And then I
Yeah,
gave
that
her,
is
she
like
has
Goro.
these different buffs using the elements. I gave her this one where she summons
Oh, I
the
wanted to
rocks.
see more about that actually.
So now the way this works is, I'm going to switch to Jade. She summons the rocks, and while you're in the rock field, if you hit Cetrion, the rock will actually latch out and try to hit you. So I'll show you.
Oh,
See, if it's blocked or whiffed, it actually won't, and you can actually avoid them. Like, they're not just immediately targeted.
What?
Like I'm intensely
they're like
doing something
highs or
low, and
something?
now I'm out of the field.
that's kind of interesting.
But you'll see the rock actually comes down, and if the opponent's there, they'll get bopped.
That's so weird.
Cetrion, using both of her defensive stamina, if you look, it actually takes up her whole thing. She could
That's
set
so
this
weird.
up, go in for pressure, go in for throw, or whatever, block strings, and if the opponent tries to counter poke back, or try to
That's
do a
so
juggle,
weird. That could be really. That could be a really
Wow,
good move though.
that happened
A
to
really
both
good
of
move,
Everybody's getting
especially in
phone
the
calls
corner.
today.
they'll
That shit
actually
can
be
be
hit.
kind of
Now, because
ridiculous.
the stamina's gone, you got to think about the risk reward here, because that means if you dodge it and you actually combo Cetrion, she's not going to be able to break away or do a wake up attack for quite a while. So This isn't an end-all, you just can't play the game, but it is a great defensive tool.
Now, would you use it as like, I'm going to be on the other side of the screen, I'm going to put that up, and I'm going into zoning range?
You could definitely do that.
Right.
I personally like using it offensively, kind of do it in the mid-range and then try to go in if they try to poke. But yeah, you could absolutely do that too. It's essentially, you can think
It's
of
a really
it as
cool.
shield,
It's a really
high-risk
cool
shield.
tool. I feel like if I were to use Cetrion, I would
So let's
probably
check out
want to
her-
use that ability.
Fatal Blow before
Seems
we
pretty-
go
pretty good.
into our second loadout. This one is extremely powerful. That is actually dropped down and track you. So no matter where on screen,
Yeah, he
it's
said
gonna
her
hit them on
tracking
the top
moves
of
in
the head.
mid, but
It is
even so,
awesome
it's
for
still
zoning.
like I don't like the idea of tracking.
Like you can literally sit there, look for Jade to throw her
moves like
glaive
that.
or turn
Gotcha.
on.
like
and yeah, you got
Aquaman's
She
from the
becomes
deep is
extremely
mid as
deadly when
well.
she's
That
in
doesn't
Fatal
make
Blow.
it okay.
You would expect that out of an Elder God.
Yeah.
They just get strong.
There's a pop-up where you can throw the Baraka henchman. I did actually notice that. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to loadout 2, which is my wind-based loadout.
Okay.
What, is that too much?
No, I think this is one of your best names ever.
Thank you. I thought of this
Arbor Bay.
Arbor Bay on the way to work, and I
Arbor Bay.
That's good.
That's
I like
a
it.
pretty
I
cool
like it.
costume.
So now she's a little darker, right? A little
Yes.
more evil.
I'm all in on her gear.
Evil
I personally use this weird cosmic purple, like outer space looking thing that's
you had
really
it on
cool.
Your TV earlier, I saw.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So the first move I gave him was
Puddle
this tornado.
tracks, though. Like,
Typically,
I
she
guess
doesn't
so,
have just a
but it's
standard
also
projectile
like
that just goes straight forward.
it's also
and
like
she
30
actually
frame
gets it.
startup.
She amplifies it, it goes full screen. The really cool thing, though, is actually the pushback on block, because it is hella. They actually go way back. So
They
this
almost
is
go as far back as they do when they get hit. If
yeah.
they're hurt, right?
So it is super good for keeping the opponent at bay.
so it pushes you back.
Arbor Bay. So then I also gave her another one of these buffs, which is this wind tunnel.
Ooh.
So again, I'll play Jade to show how it works.
What
'cause
does
this
that
thing is
one do?
Pretty awesome. So while this is out, if Jade is on the outer edges, it actually slows down her movement, even her jumping. You can see it's like
Oh!
literally a barrier. And if you get to the center, you can move, but outside the edges, it's super hard to get
That's
in.
so weird.
And this totally complements the tornado move I gave her. So for example, you can go in here, do this, and you can see in mid-range, Jade is going to really struggle to get in. And even if she's blocking,
That's
she's
pretty
going to
cool.
be pushed back to it.
I wouldn't
So
mind zoning people out
this
with
is
those
just
tools.
the perfect move to keep someone out and keep with the
That
range
sounds like a fun way of
So
keeping people out.
She doesn't have the best combos, but she has excellent keep away, and she's just going to be.
But the thing is
sitting around,
I don't know if I'd
jump,
be able to
maybe
use
gonna try
that
to maybe teleport in or
loadout
she
because
could
it's
use her
only
shadow
going to be
kick and then
preset.
punish it. It's
So
great
you
scheme
kind of have to
control.
just
Again though
see what
she
the
is using
preset
all her
options
defensive
are for
stamina
tournament.
with each buff.
And if that's one of them, then maybe
Cool.
I'll try that.
What
If
do
I
we
had
got?
the option
You
to,
wanna do
I would
left?
probably want to try that. That
Ooh,
one looks pretty
rocks.
cool. What's up, the Rich?
We kind of
Cookie?
want to just give a few tastes of Cetrion that we hadn't done from Game Informer.